Hello, everyone. As I said, we're just about to get started here. Thank you all for joining us today for our informational webinar about the Video Business Accelerator training program and our upcoming cohort in Latin America. We're so excited to have you join us today. This program is being offered by the Facebook Journalism Project in collaboration with the International Center for Journalists and the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism and at CUNY. And we're excited to share some information with you about how to participate in this program and apply for it. Just a couple quick housekeeping things before we get started here. We do want to let you know that this webinar has the opportunity for you to listen to it in both Spanish and Portuguese and English. So please feel free to click that little world button that's at the bottom right of your screen. And we have our wonderful interpreters. Juliana is doing our translations into Portuguese and Joao is doing it into Spanish. So thank you for doing that, and feel free to click that language of how you would like to hear this webinar today. Also, I do want to let everyone know that we will be using the Q&A function to ask questions, and please ask questions throughout this entire webinar. We love them, and we want to make sure you have all of the information you need to learn more about this program and to apply. So that button is right next to the world on the bottom right of your screen to the left. So please feel free to ask questions in there. And this webinar is being recorded right now, and so we'll be able to share it out with everyone after the webinar is over. And now I'd like to pass it over to my colleague, Marie.
Thank you, Kyle. Hi, everyone. It's so great to see the number of participants still going up. We're at 64 participants, and there's tremendous interest in this program. So I want to, slowly, while we are letting people catch up, let you know what we will cover in the webinar today. So we will go over what the Video Business Accelerator is and why you should apply. Is it for you? What value will you get out of it? We will look at the program schedule, how the program is structured, and I'll talk to you about some of our star instructors. And you'll meet one of them, Anita Lee, who is on the webinar today. She'll be able to talk to you a little bit about what her class, actually she has two classes, so what our two classes are about. And then finally, we'll spend some time going through the application question by question. So you really get an understanding of what the requirement for applying to the program are. Throughout all of this, please ask a lot of questions at any time. This is really for you to get to know how this works. We want you to have all the information to have a successful application. So let's start with meeting the organizing team behind the program. Let me introduce you to Julieta Chama. A lot of you know her. She is the news partnership lead for Spanish language countries at Facebook. And then Anita, Kyle, and I are with the Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY in New York. So Julieta is in Buenos Aires, and we are in New York. Actually, Anita is in Toronto. So pretty international team. I will now turn it over to Julieta to talk a little bit about the vision behind the Video Business Accelerator. Julieta?
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. I know it's pretty early in Mexico, Colombia, so thanks for coping with us. I hope we spark your interest and help you waking up. So let me tell you a bit about the Accelerator for those that here for the first time. So the Accelerator program is part of our efforts to collaborate closely with publishers and support them as they build sustainable future for their business. The program is generally built on 4 core pillars, workshops, online, in the past in-person workshops where participants listen to experts such as Anita and participate in hands-on exercises, coaching, weekly calls with dedicated world-class expert coaches, grants that will allow you to fund and execute projects using the lessons you will learn during this period. And a big part of this is building a community and share practices with your peers of the program, working together and finding common solutions to usual problems you have as you face the future of the industry. In general, in the past, we have had several versions of the program that tries to tackle some of the main challenges businesses face, such as reader revenue, local news, video narratives, audience insights. And this is the first time we bring this new version to Latin America. It just started a few months ago in APAC, and now we are bringing it to Latin America. And it's about how to tackle a huge issue, which is making a business out of video. Many of you, and I recognize several names, were in our first video accelerator back in 2018 that started in Argentina. And back there, what we tried to do is how to deal with mobile narratives and how to make video really live in a digital world, and where were the best practices around that. Well, this for those who have been familiar with this with that program, this is like the phase 2. How do we monetize? How do we make a business out of video? So for those who have surpassed that challenge, maybe you will find interesting taking a close look and apply to this program. So that's what we want to help you navigate, facing challenges together and finding common solutions and building a community in the way. So that was my part, and I'm gonna get back to Kyle. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you, Julieta. Thank you. So let's look at the details, okay? So what do you get? What is the value of this program to you? You will get 10 weeks of classes with industry experts to help you refine your business strategy around video. You will get a $12,000 grant to do a 3-month project to help you monetize your videos. You will get a dedicated coach who will be guiding you through the entire 6 months of the program. And the program is entirely free and remote if you get accepted. So is this for you? Are you a good candidate for the Video Business Accelerator? This program is for newsrooms in Latin America who have an existing video operation. This is very important. This is not for people or for newsrooms who want to start a video operation from scratch. This is for people who have one already, even if it's small or new, right? And want to learn ways to monetize it, like Julieta just explained a little while ago. It's for you if you seek the guidance of expert coaches, if you want to earn a grant to implement a sustainable video project, and if you have the support of your newsroom leadership to be able to take the classes and also to dedicate team time to doing the project over a total of 6 months. And we'll talk more about the project, the support for the project from leadership when we talk about the grant requirement specifically. So let's look at the schedule. What happens during the program? The program is organized into 2 phases. First, a training phase, and then a project phase. So the training phase in September and to December will include classes and online classes and boot camps. Then you apply for a $12,000 grant around December and January. And then the project phase starts, and you have 3 months there to work on a video monetization project. The coaching takes place all over those phases, from the beginning to the end. So let's look at some of the topics that we will cover in class. We'll cover business models for news videos, how to come up with a strategy that aligns with your goals, examples of successful video monetization through reach strategies and engagement strategies, design thinking methods to help you come up with worthy projects, ways to measure success through metrics and key performance indicators, what are the future trends and technologies to keep an eye on, how to drive culture change in your newsroom to make it more visual oriented, and finally, how to execute projects. So I see that there's a question in the chat or something in the chat. Is that for me?
Nope, that's just to remind people that the Q&A function is open, so please feel free to ask questions at any point.
Is there anybody who has a question right now? Put it in Q&A and I will read it and answer it if I can. I also wanted to introduce you to some of our STAR instructors to get you an idea about the level of instruction that we will have in the training phase. So Jeff Jarvis, he's a very well-known thought leader about the future of journalism, talks all around the world. Many of you probably know him or have seen him talk. Brian Davis, who is the Senior Director for Engagement at NBC News Digital, a major US broadcaster. Eli Strong, who is Deputy Editor for Strategic Initiative for the Washington Post. And finally, Anita Lee, a media strategist with a wealth of experience, who's going to join us in a moment. But before that, I just wanted to tell you a few things about translation. We will provide Spanish and Portuguese interpretation for the classes, but not the boot camps, which are the larger hands-on classes. We will also not provide interpretation for coaching sessions when you have your one-on-one with your coaches, but some of the coaches will be native speakers in Spanish and in Portuguese. So English proficiency is required for this program. So now I will turn it over to Anita Lee to tell you a little bit about what she will teach in the program to give you an idea of what to expect in class.
Hi, everyone. It's great to meet you. Thank you for joining us this morning. Like Marie said, my name is Anita Lee. I am a media strategist and consultant based in Toronto, Canada. And so I am teaching two classes. The first one is called Bootcamp 1, Strategy, Alignment, and Goals. And the second is Bootcamp 3, called Execution. So what I look at, these two classes are meant to bookend all the other more kind of granular hands-on classes that you're going to be learning with your coaches and your other instructors. So I want to talk a bit about what I'm going to be exploring in the first boot camp, and then I'll talk a bit about the second boot camp. So in the first boot camp, I look at how you execute a video strategy, and it's really important at this point to identify your goals. So a couple of questions that you're going to be asking yourself in this boot camp include, are you looking to increase brand awareness and capture new viewers? Are you gearing up for a fundraising campaign to attract paid subscribers? Or are you hoping to generate more feedback from your current viewership, for example? So ultimately what you're asking yourself in this first boot camp is, what do I want my audience to do after watching my video? And because there's no one size fits all approach to a successful video strategy, it's really important to identify clear goals. And it's also going to help you determine basically the difference between knowing how much return on investment your content delivers versus just kind of testing things out and throwing things up the wall. So it's really, the whole first class is meant to, lay your foundation and really take a top line look at your strategy. And I will definitely help you through that in the first boot camp. And then in the third boot camp, you're taking all the lessons that you learned from your instructors over the weeks, and you're really honing it down into a clear strategy that you can take action on. So it's a very concrete strategy. So you're going to be looking at, in the third boot camp, how to execute your project. You're going to look at what you want to prioritize, what you want to focus on, and how you want to use your newsroom's resources. And then we'll also talk through how you'll be working with mentors and how you'll be using your grants and how you'll be achieving your SMART goals during the grant phase. And then finally, I'll be walking you through, or you'll be walking me and the rest of your cohort through your concrete strategies or video strategies, and you'll be getting a lot of feedback during the last boot camp before you go off on your own and start executing. So I really hope you guys will join me and apply for this program. I've had a lot of fun being an instructor, and I hope to get to know more of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anita. I hope that your classes obviously sounds really amazing. And so if you really want to take Anita's class and take instruction from some of our other wonderful instructors, then you should definitely apply for this program. And what do you need to apply for it? Well, we're going to tell you right now, and we're going to also take some time to walk through the application together to make sure that everyone knows what they need to do. So first, you need a team leader who's really going to champion the project in the newsroom and basically be the person who's going to fill out the application. They are going to be really a driving force in implementing the project, and also just be a point of contact for us, if we have any questions about your application. You'll also need a team of 2 to 3 people from the newsroom who do work related to video, to revenue generation, or even people who think about video as a product and as it relates to marketing, analytics, and even audience engagement. So thinking about those 2 to 3 people, and that team leader should be one of those 2 to 3 people as well. You also need a C-suite level or executive sponsor who can attend some of the sessions. It's really important to have that top level support for you to participate in this training program and implement the project. You'll obviously need a completed application, which we will go over here in just a minute. And finally, this is really crucial, is this letter of newsroom commitment to fully participate in the training. And this should be filled out by your supervisor or a newsroom executive to ensure that they are aware and support you participating in this program. So obviously this is a couple of things you need to think about in order to apply. So please make sure that you take the time in order to do it. And obviously don't wait to the last minute to make sure you get all these pieces together. So we're gonna take some time really quickly to go through that application together and really make sure that we understand it all. So I am going to get out of this presentation for a minute. I am going to go over here to the application. Awesome. So we're going to scroll down here. One of the first things you'll notice here is that you are able to fill out this application in English. This is the English form, but also you can fill it out in Spanish and Portuguese as well, in whatever your native language is, or that you feel more comfortable communicating with us. That is where you can access this as well. This top half is everything that we just went over in this webinar so far. So please take the time to also review it and make sure that you understand what you need to apply. So we're gonna move past this and go to our first question here, which is identifying that team leader. As we said, this person is going to be important in championing that this project in the newsroom. So we want to know and who is filling out this application. So we want to know the team leader's name, their job title, and their email address as well. The next two are identifying the other team members that you want to work with. So we'll need their full name, their job title, and their email address. Remember, these are people who are doing work in the newsroom related to video and revenue. Right now, you might have ideas of who should also participate in this program, and this is where you can put that. But if you don't know quite yet, that's totally okay. This question is optional, and we can identify those people later on. We know that people are moving around in the newsroom, new people come on board, people leave, and so we want to be as flexible as possible. So if you know them, feel free to identify them here, but it's okay if not. Next, we have the name, the job title, and the email address of the C-suite executive that will participate in at least 2 of those training sessions. This is required because, as I said, it is important to have that buy-in from the top level in order to participate in this training program. So please make sure you identify that person right here.
Kyle, sorry to interrupt you. We just had a question that is related to this field, that is, what do we mean by C-suite or executive? Because probably in some companies, they don't have CEOs, but they have, can you give more details on what is expectation?
Yeah, that's a great question. And feel free to, if you have a better way of explaining it as well, please feel free to hop in. But this is really your supervisor, an editor, the person who's really making those day-to-day decisions about where the company is going, who is having that strategic vision and helping make those decisions. That's what we really mean by that C-suite level or an executive sponsor. Someone who is really kind of at that top level that is has buy-in, is really making those decisions about revenue and video. And so hopefully that makes sense to everyone here in the audience. Awesome. Moving on then, and as I feel free to ask questions in the chat in the Q&A function, and please, feel free to, we'll get to as many of them as possible. These next few questions should be very self-explanatory. We want to know what organization you're working for, the name of your newsroom or media outlet. You'll put that here, the URL, your link to your webpage for it, and your Facebook page, a link to that as well. Also, your city and country of where your newsroom is located. So those should be pretty simple to fill out. These next few questions that we have here are some open-ended questions that really we want you to put some thought into it. It is 250 words max for each of these questions. So please make sure that you are being concise, but also as specific as possible when filling this out. And really take some time to make sure that you're telling the story that you want of your media outlet. So first thing, we want you to describe your existing video operation. As Marie mentioned before, in order to participate in this training program, you do need to have a current existing video unit. And so please describe that to us. Who's on it? How many people? What does it look like? What do you do? And please make sure you answer this question. Are you currently monetizing your videos and how? If you are, please list that and examples and ways that you're doing it. And if not, that's okay too. But just want to identify how your process is currently working. The next question we have is, what is your biggest strategic challenge your organization has related to video? And we want to know, how would this accelerator help you solve this challenge? We really want to make sure that everything that you're learning in this program, through the training, through the instructors, and through the coaching, that we're really being able to take your video unit to the next level. And so we want to know what your challenge is and how you think this accelerator would help you. The next question we have is, how will you ensure that the accelerator lessons will be implemented in your organization? After this training program ends, we want to kind of know the steps or things that you will do to take everything that you have learned in this program and really implement this within your newsroom. So how do you imagine that's working? Obviously getting that buy-in and thinking about all of those things that go into it. And finally, the last kind of open-ended question that we have here is, do you already have an idea about an audience you want to target or product you want to work on? And obviously you don't need to have a full-fleshed idea of what your video project will be, but this is a place where you can start to think about it, think about what you want to work on, what audience you want to target in your community, or a product related to video that you want to work on. This is where you can write all of that out. We're almost done with the application. I know that's a lot so far, but we're getting to the end here. The next question is, how comfortable are you with English? As Marie mentioned, we do require an English proficiency. We will have some translations to Spanish and Portuguese for our classes, but some of the other times the trainings will be conducted in English. So, we want to understand the makeup of our cohort, and so please identify your preference here. We want to know how you found out about this program. Where did you hear this from? A colleague, a friend? Did you hear it on social media, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter? Did you learn about this in a Slack group or another message board that you're in, like WhatsApp? Did you learn about it in a newsletter? Did you come to our website and learn about us from this way, or through our partners at ICFJ and their site at IJNet? Or were you searching online for a web search? And or another place. So please feel free to identify where you found out about this program. We'd love to hear it. And this question here where it says, please list where you heard about the program, that's just to be as specific as possible. So you can put down that reference, you can put down that exact social media link. We just really love to hear about how you found out about this and decided to apply. And finally, this is the last part of the application, but also a very important part. This is where you add your file for the letter of newsroom commitment, acknowledging that you have the support from your organization to participate in this training. And this, as I mentioned, should be written by your supervisor or by a newsroom executive. You can add the file right here. A PDF would be great. And that's really important to make sure you get. So please make sure that you obviously are not waiting till the last minute to do that. I understand that there are some processes that might take place in order to get that letter. So please really make sure you jump on this right away. And obviously, if you have any questions about filling out this application, my email address is right here on it. So please feel free to reach out to me there. So I am going to go back I'm going to stop sharing my screen really quickly for a second. And see, we've had some questions come in. We're all answered. We're good there.
We did, but I think there are a few that probably is worth responding live because probably many people are thinking about the same. So one of the questions is about the grant and how should the teams spend the grants money. I don't know if Kyle, if you want to jump on that one, or Marie.
I can take that. So the grant money, we will ask you for a planned budget, but you can spend the money on equipment, on consulting to help you through your project, on promoting the video project on social media, like buying ads or pushing some marketing around it. The only thing you cannot spend the money on is salaries for full-time employees. You cannot use the grant to cover the salary on someone on your team or hire a new person to be on your team. And so what we ask for you to think about when you apply for the grant is to spend the money in places that will be useful to you in the long run, even after the project is over. So if you bought a piece of equipment, it will serve you after the project. If a consultant trained your team, then this training, this knowledge will remain with your team. So this is kind of what we want to see. We want to see a sustainable use of the funds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I would add to that you will have the support of your coaches to also decide what is the best use of that grant. And in the end, what we want to get out of it is that the return you get on the grant is significant. So you really make the best out of it using the learnings, the support of the coaches, and understanding what is the best use of that money for experimentation.
Julieta, there's an interesting question just popped up.
Yeah, let me see, sorry. So there is an anonymous attendee asking the content creative, he's asking if the content should be exclusive to Facebook or it could be published in any other platform. It could be published anywhere on your site and not on Facebook, maybe, wherever you want. So it is not exclusive to Facebook. We understand that we have a role in supporting the industry beyond our platform. So whatever you think the business is, that's what we're going to think about.
I would add that it could be a project that's a video project that lives on your website. It could be on YouTube. It could be a branded content project. So it's a what we call platform agnostic.
And there are questions about the deadline for applying, and also if you already have the actual dates of the week where we're going to be having the trainings. I don't know, Marie and Kyle, if you want to jump in.
Sure, yes. The application deadline, we have that on our next slide that we'll share too as well, but the application deadline is August 18th at 11:59 p.m. Mexico time. So that is 3 weeks from today. So that's why I said, please make sure that you're taking the time to make sure you get that in before the deadline. And the cohort will gather to start in the fall, the last week of September. So I believe that's the week of September 27th. And we're planning on having classes on Tuesdays as our goal. And so more of that information will come out once we get closer to those dates. But that'll be from September to about the beginning of December will be the training part.
We are getting more questions about the projects that the participants are going to work with the mentors. The first question is about if there is any restriction about the topics for development of the project, and it has to be related for news, and the follow-up questions also related to the project is that if there is a date where they need to publish that project, and if there is a duration or number of videos that they need to produce. I can take I can take both, I think, if you don't mind. So the project is not necessarily a journalistic project. And as I said in the beginning, we had in the past a video accelerator that was about producing video. This video accelerator is business of video. It's about actually how to monetize your video. So your project may be about, I don't know, creating a branded content project, and or maybe how to make your team more efficient to monetize. Probably Anita has or Marie has more ideas than I do, but I think that it's maybe not related to hard news. Maybe it could be a soft news project. It could be lifestyle. It could be anything it fits under your publication. But it's not a journalistic project. It's about how to make really a business out of your video. If that leads to a new series, maybe you can speak about that to a coach, but not necessarily. I don't know, Anita, or if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I can, excuse me. Yeah, I can just add that the sky's the limit with your project, as long as it helps your newsroom video strategy. So in my coaching classes, sometimes I talk to participants about sponsored content. Sometimes it's about, social video. Sometimes it's, live streaming. It really is at your discretion, and whatever you want to develop or work on that will help you reach sustainability or help you reach financial sustainability through a video strategy or a particular video project.
Awesome. And we did just get a question in about how long are the lessons. And so some of our lessons, our classes are 2 hours. And our boot camps, we're really kind of digging into the work and then doing that design thinking and everything. Those are about 3.5 hours. So, and that is each week. So, you'll have one class each week. So it's not taking up too much of your day. There might be some outside reading or something you might need to do in between each class. But you'll have all of those dates and everything ahead of time, before we start the program.
And I think we skipped a question about the deadline for the project.
Yes, you're right, Marie.
So the project is the project phase is 3 months starting in January. So at the end of March, where we would, you may launch some time between January and March, or you might be getting ready to launch, or you have a prototype to launch in the future. But we will ask you at the end of those 3 months, or in March, to have a presentation about what you were able to accomplish of your project. Ana Maria Reyes asked, could a news organization apply with more than one project? No, I mean, it's already a lot. You are free to work on other projects while you take the program, but for the program, we just want you to focus on one project. But I applaud your initiative.
Were there any other questions before that you think are worth mentioning out loud that were?
Enrique asked if the team lead can also be an executive sponsor. And I said that, of course, more than welcome. That would be great, actually, that kind of involvement.
Just you have to make sure that that person will have the time to dedicate to the sessions and the coaching session.
And I saw that someone asked about taking an exam to prove a proficiency in English, and no, we are not testing or requiring that at all. So, just, but in that question, just be as honest as possible about what you prefer for your proficiency.
I would say that you will suffer if you are not proficient in English, because we try to really accommodate Spanish and Portuguese, but we can't do the whole thing. And so it really is important that you are proficient in English. Julieta.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions suddenly about how the participating team should be. And actually, the first question is how many people from the same company could apply. And we're not thinking about people, but teams and actually companies. So I would suggest, unless you have different units that are completely separated, to have one application per newsroom. And the other question is about how many members should a team have. And I think, team, Kai, I see you want to jump in. Go.
Yeah, just it's a maximum of 4 people, because you'll have your team leader, you'll have your C-suite executive, your newsroom executive that's also participating, and then you have the option of having 2 more people, participating. And so we say 3 to 4 people per team is ideal.
And to this point, I would add that it's very, very important to have what we call a cross-functional team. That somebody that can think about the business, somebody that can think about the video as a product, or the narrative behind the video, somebody from the video team. So that is something that we will really look at when evaluating the applications, that you have a team that really can touch on the different topics that we will be talking about during this program, which is business, video, narratives, and strategy. There is one question in Spanish that I can take, that is if the money can be used to train the team in the usage of new equipment or digital transformation. I think that's completely fine.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of a good way to use the money. There's a question that I don't really know how to answer. Can the video team not be fully complete? Carolina, do you want to kind of explain that a little bit? Do you mean not fully complete to put their names on the application, or not fully complete to where it's not where you want it yet in your newsroom?
Yes, like still looking for a video editor, for instance, that we don't have yet. But we are committed with the C-level management, and we are trying to produce by ourselves. But the team is not fully hired.
I mean, I guess you have to apply with the team that you have. So, I think you should apply anyway. It is what it is, when we don't live in a perfect world, and your team is evolving. So yes, please apply as you continue looking for that person.
I also see that Alondra Arias has his hand raised, and so I want to make sure that I'll allow them to talk. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. Or you can put it in the chat too, in the Q&A box as well. No?
So there was another question while we wait for more questions that is worth repeating, that is about if the application should be filled in English, and same of the letter of commitment. No need for that. There are actually there are formulas that you can fill in Spanish or Portuguese or English, whatever you feel more comfortable. The same applies to the letter of intention.
There are actually links on the top of the main application that say here for Spanish, here for Portuguese, and so you should use those.
Definitely. Well, we are coming up on time here in about 5 minutes, which is great. There were so many wonderful questions. Please feel free to continue asking questions if you have any last minute ones you want to get in. Yes, that is a great question, asking if we can share the deck, slide deck after this meeting. Of course, yes, you will be able to get a copy of it, as well as the recording from today's webinar will be shared out as well. And please feel free to share those with any colleagues or other people that were not able to attend today. We definitely want to make sure everyone has as much info as possible.
And once again, Angie's asking about the when should they apply, by the day that the application closes, and that's August 18. We will send follow-up email with the information and the link to apply, so don't worry. And if you there you have the
yes. I knew that was going to be a big question. So yes, deadline August 18th, 11:59 p.m. Mexico time. So please make sure you get those in. Here's the link, and feel free we can put that in the chat as well. If you are looking for more general information about the Video Business Accelerator program in general, it has a Q&A. So a lot of these questions you were asked will be found there, as well as the links to the application. So you can find them there. And I believe Marie has already dropped in the link to the English application, which includes, as we said, the links to the Spanish and Portuguese ones as well. So you can fill them out in whatever language makes sense for you. And obviously, as I mentioned, questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to email me here, and would be happy to answer any of them if you have any further questions. But once again, we have until August 18th, so 3 weeks from today. Please make sure you take the time to fill it out. And we've answered this one, I believe, before too, but it is not the we have a question about whether the content within the project must be used in Facebook or other platforms. And it does not have to just be used on Facebook. It can be used on any platform at all. That is not a requirement by any means. Awesome. This is great.
Well, it's great that everybody, all the connected, so stay with us till the end. So I'm pretty sure you hear all. Yeah, thanks so much.
We have another.
Now we have a final question.
Yes.
Yes, so I'll take that. So there are two phases of the program, Paolo. The first one is the training phase with the classes that ends in December. And then you you apply for that grant. And then you have 3 more months to do a project in your newsroom. And so the final presentation is in March. So altogether, it's 6 months, 2.5 months of classes, and then 3 months of project. Does that make sense?
And I believe Amanda has a question as well, so I gave her permission to ask as well. So feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like. Or feel free to ask it in the Q&A as well, if that's easier. All right, if there's no further questions though, this is great. Yes, thank you so much. We have one more question, I believe. Did we already answer that?
We have 2 questions. One is Rodolfo celebrating the initiative. Thank you, Rodolfo, for that. And then an anonymous attendee is asking if the publishers that don't get to be chosen for the project for the accelerator, if they can still participate in the process. I don't think so. That's the case, but we will share learnings and we will share a lot of what we discuss and learn during the accelerator. So keep on track and we will be communicating through CUNY and the accelerator site and try to make all the learnings to impact the biggest amount of newsrooms possible beyond the room, the classroom. So thanks for your question.
I think if I may answer this one as well, Anonymous, if what you mean is if you get started with the program and you don't receive after the training program, you don't receive the grant, you know what happens? Everybody who is accepted, we will work with you to make sure that your project proposal gets you the grant. The coaches are there for that, to make sure that so everybody who's accepted will be able to do the project with a grant. It's going to be hard work, but you will be able to get the grant.
And just one final question we have about what that final project consists of. Is it a series of videos? What does it have to be?
So the project is basically, it depends on your newsroom's goals and the opportunities that you're trying to seize with your videos. So for instance, let's say you have some videos on YouTube, but you want to increase, you think that there's room to increase the revenue from those videos by 20%. You maybe will decide to do a new series on YouTube to achieve that goal, right? You can think about, we might have an opportunity here to do some branded content to get some more money directly from sponsors. And so maybe this is what you're going to work on, is developing a branded video content operation. So these are the types of projects. It really is all over, like with the projects we've done so far that we're, that our current students are doing are really very varied.
Thank you so much, Miriam. I know we're a little bit out of time. There's just a last minute question. You will not receive a diploma or for participating in this program. It is for to be able to take that training and be able to implement it in the newsroom. But Marie, if you want to say anything about that.
I mean, you can put it on your LinkedIn that you did the program, certainly. Yes.
Yeah, but nothing official, official from that.
And we will publish the list of newsrooms that will participate, so you will be able to share that.
It will be public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know we're a little over time, but I want to thank everyone for sticking with us through our webinar today and asking really great questions. I hope this was helpful in getting more information about the program and also knowing what you need to apply for it. So thank you all for being here. I want to thank my lovely panelists for being here as well. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Once again, my contact information is there, so please feel free to reach out at any time and we'll share this recording. But I want to thank everyone again so much for being here. And thank you so much to our wonderful interpreters too for doing a lot right now. I really appreciate it. So thank you all so much for coming and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.